Welcome everyone. Thanks for tuning in to Grumpus on Fire. I'm Grumpus, but y'all have been asking, so today we're going to play with fire. I'm going to show you how I start them, how I maintain them, how I keep them going through the whole cook. Stay tuned. Alright, well the first thing I do is I open up the pit. Every door. So when I start the fire, that initial puff of smoke, I don't want it clinging to the inside of my pit. I don't know if it bothers it or not, but why not open the doors? They're there. Today I'm going to start my fire with 2 chimneys of charcoal, right out of the blue bag. I've already dumped one chimney in here. This is how I have it arranged. It's a little off center because I'm going to put my log over here against this wall and let it preheat. Then I'll dump my lit charcoal right in the middle. This will give me a good bed of coals to start with as the wood catches and starts burning down. We'll give that a chance to get started. We'll be right back. Alright, I'm not sure if you can see this or not, but we got flames coming out of the top. It's been about 10 minutes. So it's time to dump this in the middle of our other coals. Okay, it's time to dump these in. Again, I'm trying to leave everything to the right a little bit. Make room for a board to be preheated. So I'm going to take some small splits right now, lay right on top. Make sure I don't smother out the lit charcoal. And it shouldn't take this long at all to get started. Meanwhile, I'm going to take this. This would be the next piece that we put on. I'll just stick it up here against the side. Let that pre-warm, and when we put it on, it should ignite really quick. So at this point, I'll leave everything open, let that wood catch. So as you can see, when we first start up, we've got quite a bit of smoke. This is the white smoke, the dirty smoke, that I don't want to capture in my pit. That's why I've left all the doors open. We'll let as much of that die down as we can before I close the pit up. We'll be back when this thing's lit. It's already starting, so it won't take long. Alright, it's been about 15 minutes. As you can see, we've got a pretty good flame going. Now I do want to point something out. See if I can show you right here. See that moisture coming out? I've either got my wood a little bit wet, or I just bought this cord of wood about a month ago. It's possible they might have got a couple green pieces in there. But you see it steaming out like that and foaming. That's just the moisture boiling out of the wood. The wood will burn as long as you got a good bed of coals. It's probably not a great thing to burn a lot of green wood. I don't know what that does to the flavor of the meat. But when you run into that, it might be possible to go ahead to probably just throw a couple more small pieces on it, because right now it looks like a pretty big fire. But what we're really trying to do is get a good bed of coals going. Something else I want to point out. We have flame, so we don't have a lot of smoke. We've got some smoke, but that's good smoke. It's not the billowing white smoke like we started with. So that's something to keep in mind. As long as you got flame, decent amount of flame, you don't have to worry about over smoking. Alright, as you can see, I put 3 small little pieces up there. Always stack them in there with a lot of airflow between them because we want them to catch really quick. As I said before, we want this to die down and give us a nice bed of coals, something that's going to last throughout our cook and sustain all the new wood that we put on top of it. Again, the smoke is the minimum amount of smoke. That lets us know we've got good combustion, nothing smoldering. I know that looks like a lot of wood, but it's really not. Alright, I think it's time to close the pit up. Alright, so we've closed the pit up. Just now closed it up so you can see the temps all the way across. And we'll come back in about 15 minutes. See what that gives us. The only thing open now is the firebox door and the stacks. You can see we don't have any below white smoke. Alright, at this point I'm going to close the firebox door, open the damper, and we'll see if the damper gives us enough air to sustain what we have going. If not, we'll have to make some adjustments. Alright guys, well, I went inside to change batteries on my camera. It was gone maybe 2 minutes. Now look at the smoke now. See, we don't like that. That's the wrong kind of smoke. So when I closed the firebox door, I neglected to open the damper. So I'm going to open the door. I want you to see what we have. See all that smoke? We lost our flame. Now it's starting to come back. As it comes back, our smoke should start clearing up and cleaning itself up. Let's just watch this a second. Now right now we see a lot of smoke just coming out of the firebox. We need to get that airflow, that heat, to go through the smoker and clear itself out. So what I generally do is I will take the door. Now watch this crack. I don't know if you can see it or not on the camera. But if you've got smoke coming out of this door crack, ease the door shut until it just starts drawing the smoke back in. If you do that, then that means we're sucking the air in. It's going through the pit, clearing out all that old smoke. And look here, we've cleaned up again. Now if I was to close that door, well, let's just do it so I can show you what happens. Okay, we've got the door closed, damper's closed. So our fire is probably going to die down and we're going to start seeing some bad smoke. Probably take it a second. I won't make you sit here and watch it. So there it is right there. See it starting to puff out? There we go. That lets you know you've lost your flame. So as long as you've got flame in your firebox, you're not going to have that ugly, nasty smoke. So let's open the door back up. Look at all that. Let's give our fire a chance to grab again. It got that big gush of oxygen. Now if we crack that door just enough to where it's sucking its own smoke back into the firebox, it will clear itself back out, and we can watch it right here. It eventually clean itself up. There's a lot of smoke. There's a lot of area inside this pit, so it takes it a few minutes to clear out. Now, I don't have any meat in there right now. I'm just playing with the fire to show you guys how I manage it and how we manage to keep the clean smoke. See, it's almost cleared itself up by now. So leave your exhaust dampers wide open. Manage your fire with the air at the box. See, we got clean smoke again. So I'm going to open up this damper. I'm going to close the door, and let's see if that damper is giving us enough air for that big old fire that we built. It looks to me like that's good. Might dirty it up just a little, so if that's the case, let's crack our firebox door just a little bit. Not much, maybe, oh, maybe that much. Keep plenty of oxygen going to that wood we've got in there. Let it burn up, come down to a good bed of coals, and then moving forward, we can add a stick at a time, and we should be able to maintain it. So it's been a total of maybe 20 minutes since we closed the pit up. Even with all my monkeying around showing you smoke and bad smoke and good smoke, the pit's still coming up to temperature, so we're not quite at 250 here, and if we come over here, follow the smoke, not quite 300. There's on the vertical, and coming up, there's the other vertical. So we're heating up pretty good. You got to remember, this is a massive amount of steel I've got to get heated up. So it generally takes about an hour once I close everything up. But once all that metal's warmed up, it holds the temperature very, very well. So we'll come back in a little bit, check the fire, see how our temps settle down. Maybe it'd be time to add a log. Now, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but let's look inside here. See the flames, how they're blowing towards the back? That lets us know we got plenty of air rushing in there. That's just like if you was blowing on them coals and making them glow red. So we've got a good fire. Everything seems to be burning pretty good. I'll let this go another 10-15 minutes and it'll be time to add a log. Also, let me note, this is a very, very windy day. This is going to be a challenge, but I think the pit can hold up to the challenge. We still got good draw. I don't see any smoke blowing back through the box, which would indicate air rushing down the stacks and blowing backwards. That's just not happening, so if anything, maybe the wind's giving us a better draw, who knows. But we'll be back in about 10 minutes. Alright guys, while we're waiting on that wood to die down just a little bit, let me talk about temps. Don't obsess over your temps. These gauges are a good indication of the temperature where the gauge is. Most of us use digital thermometers at the grate, and that gives us a better idea of what the temperature is by the meat. But I want to give you an idea here of, I also want to touch on tuning plates. So we're looking at the vertical over here. This is the top temperature gauge on the vertical, which is 245. If we drop down low, I'm at 245. So we've got a good even heat. Depending on where you put your meat, that variance may change a little bit. If we come over here to horizontal at the top shelf, not really the shelf, at the top, I'm also at 250. So my vertical cabinet and my top shelf are pretty darn close. I mean, if not exactly close. Now on the bottom gauges, this side always runs a little hot compared to this side, but only about 10-15 degrees. So as far as your tuning plates go, play with them until you get it to where you want them. Everybody's going to want them a little bit different. As far as your gauges, all you're really interested in is what the difference is between the two. Doesn't matter if one's 200 and the other one's 250, or one of them's 350 and the other one's 400. As long as you know what the difference is between them, then it'll be easy to move your meat around to hit that sweet spot that you're looking for. So anyway, that's just my 2 cents worth. I know I put a lot of gauges on this. That's just because I didn't want to get up and, you know, poke it with a thermometer. I was lazy. So anyway, we'll go check that fire in just a few minutes. All right, let's peek inside the firebox, see how we look. Oh, that's a nice bed of coals. So everything's burnt down. That's what you want right there. Bed of coals, hot enough that when you put log on that, it's going to light right up and not sit and smoke. Now this log here, since we've preheated it, let's see how quick it catches. Put that one in there. The next log, I'm going to put it over here to the side. Let it preheat. Now look, see how fast that lit up? No white smoke. Good clean fire already. So at this point, this is where I would put my meat on. Now we just put that log on. Let's see how we look up top. No white billowing smoke. Clean as could be. I suppose some people think that was too clean, but got to figure over a period of hours. That smoke's there. It's going to accumulate. Now if your temperatures start running away from you, come down here, start choking off your air just a little bit at a time. If you do it too quickly, then you'll end up with a smolder and you're going to end up with the smoke that you don't want. We'll check this in a little bit. Alright folks, it's been about 55 minutes since we closed up the pit. All this metal is heated up now. So we ended up settling in. Top vertical we settled in at 235. The top, we're about 230 at the bottom. I'm at 250 on the top, on the horizontal. 300 on the left. And we've got 290 on the right. So as you can see, everything's leveled out, everything's settled down. Now I did come over here and I did choke down the damper just a little bit because we were settling in a little hot, and I wanted to bring things in down around 250 to no higher than 275. So that's where we're at. Let's just call it an hour. So those of you struggling with your fires, I hope this has been some kind of a help. You can see we've still got a nice blue smoke. I'll let you take one last peek at the box. There's our log, settled in real nice. See that nice bed of coals? That's what you want. So that when you put a log in there, there's enough heat that it'll just really ignite that quick. And it helps when you preheat it over here to the side. If you're going to do that, don't forget you got to keep your fire away from that preheated log or it'll catch fire too. You'll wonder why your temperatures are running so high. So check it every once in a while. Make sure you rake your coals over away from it. Poke them coals every once in a while. Make sure you got good airflow through it. And that's really all there is to it. When you initially start your fire, be thinking coal bed. Use that to decide how many briquettes you need, how much lump you need, how much wood you need. Be thinking roaring fire, coal bed. Without that coal bed, you're not going to be able to sustain combustion with your firewood. Make sure your firewood's dry. As you saw today, I found a damp piece, threw it on the fire, and it just sat there and just kind of sizzled. Didn't want to catch. So the solution was throw a couple more dry pieces on top of it, let that catch, let it break up, help feed the coal bed. Eventually that coal bed got hot enough, that damp piece went ahead and burnt, and we didn't have to worry about it the rest of the time. And don't forget your airflow. Without airflow, you're just making smoke and billowing smoke. As I showed you, choking off the air, you get the white smoke, open up some dampers, give that thing some oxygen. Not only did it combust, I showed you how to clear out your smoke chamber so it doesn't just linger. Your pit's going to have characteristics different than mine. The volume of air in the firebox, the volume of air in the cooking chambers, all those come into account when you're trying to clear out smoke, when you're trying to get it heated up. A lot of things come into consideration: the thickness of the metal, the dryness of your wood, the type of wood. Some woods burn hotter than the other ones. The airflow, the size of the hole from the firebox into the cooking chamber, the size of the exhaust stacks, size of the inlet dampers. All that stuff has an effect on how your fire is going to work. Get outside, fire up your pit. Take an afternoon off. Don't put no meat on it so you don't have to worry about ruining anything, and just build you a good fire. Close the door and the dampers and see how much smoke comes up. Open it up a little, see what it takes to clear it all out. See how long your wood will last. Now bear in mind, your different types of wood are going to have a different heat output, a different smoke content, and you'll have to learn that as you go along. For starters, if you stick to one kind of wood and consistently use that and learn how the smoke reacts to your food, how easy it lights, how easy it maintains, how long it takes to burn, then you can start getting into your other woods. Some of them burn hotter, some of them don't burn as hot, some of them burn quick, some of them you can put a log on there and it'll last, seems like forever. So you've got to figure out your pit. Every pit's going to be different. Maintain a fire for 3 or 4 hours and just see what your pit requires, and you'll have a lot more successful cooks in the future. So if you like what we've done today, click that like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, why not? We sure appreciate that. We especially appreciate you tuning in to Grumpus on Fire. I'm Grumpus. We'll see you next time.